Hello everyone, I am Loganathan from Loga QA Automation channel. Welcome back to the next video in our Python for Testers series. So in the last video we have covered different methods we can use on the lists, right? So for example, we saw first of all how to identify the method, what is the difference between function and method, and then we saw append, insert, remove, and then pop, count, all those things we have seen. And today what we are going to see is few more important methods that we can use on lists. All right, so what I do, I'll create a new Python package. I'll name it as collection methods. And let me start with the first file, test01. Cool. Let me start with a simple list, 10, 20, 30, 40. And in case if we want to know how many elements are there in this list, how can we get it? For that, we have a method called count. Right. So the count will take the argument and I'm going to pass the argument as 20. So it says there is one element which matches the argument that I have passed, which is 20. In case if I am passing too many, so this is going to tell me how many times this particular value exists in the list. Is this applicable only for integer list? No, we can even use this for string list or homogeneous, heterogeneous. For any list this can be used. Let me see if I pass this, how many times it is calculating. Okay, let me run this. So first time it is returning 3 because there are 3 20s present in this first list. And then second time it is returning 2. The reason is 2 times my name Loganathan is present in this list. So that's why it is returning 2. So that's how we can use the count method in our Python program. Okay. So I'll use that print and then the separator. By now you know what is my favorite one. It is dash and then 15 times. So let me save it and run it. Cool. What is the next method that we are going to see? Next is index. Okay. Say for example, I want to know where exactly this number 30 present in this list. For that, what I can do, I can say a dot index of 30. Run this. So the index says 2. Why? The number 10 will be in the index 0 and then Loganathan will be in the index 1 and then 30 will be in the index 2. So that is the reason it prints 2. And if I put 20 here and then if I run this, you see that it is giving me 4 because 20 is at the 4th index, 0, 1, 2, 3 and then 4. But here the question is, say there are multiple 20s and I want to get the index of all the 20s here. So how can I get it? So let me put few more 20s just for, yeah, let's see. So if this is the case, how can we get it? For that, as we know, we have to loop through this list and then we can get how many number of times we have the 20s, right? So let's see. So let me go with the for loop. For I in, I'll go with the range. And then when I go with the range, I have to use a number. For that, I'm going to use the 20 because what I'm doing here. So using this count, I'm first of all taking how many number of times the 20 is present to understand how many times this loop has to iterate. Okay, so this is done. I in range. Next, I'll do the same. Print a dot index of 20. So I'm giving this 20, but this time I'm going to pass one more variable. So when I put a comma inside the index, it says self and then value and then start. So start is the argument that I need to pass to tell Python from which place it has to start looking for 20. So first time when it searches 20, it would give the first occurrence. So next time it searches the 20, it should not look at the same place. It has to go one place next. From there it has to start looking. Right? So that's why what I'm going to do. So when I'll start with I. Okay. So otherwise I'll put it in this way. I'll create a new variable start as 0. Because I need to start looking from the first index, that is 0th index. So I'll pass the start. And then what I do next time, once I find the start, I should go with start is equal to start plus 1. Okay, let's run this and see. 4, 4 and then none. There is something going wrong. Let's fix it. So this is start. So first time when it is getting in, it is going to check for the index of 20 from the 0th point. So first time it identifies 4, that is good. Okay, it prints that, and then it should increment start is equal to start plus 1. Let me see why it is giving me expected type int got none instead. Oh yeah, I shouldn't have printed here. That's my mistake. Okay, let's run this. Nice. So it prints 4. Okay, so first it finds at the 4th index. Next time it is finding at the 5th index because the immediate next one is 20. And then finally it is finding the 20 at the 9th index. Right, this is how we can identify all the occurrence of a particular element inside a list. So here what is that we need to understand very clearly? The index. So the list dot index will take sometimes one argument. If I just want only the first occurrence, then I can directly pass it. Sometimes if I want to ensure or I want to insist Python to start from another location or another start point, I can put a comma and then give it. So I can say that 5 or 6, right? So what does it mean? The value is 20 and then start is 6. So only after the 6th index you need to look for 20 and tell me if it is present, then return the index of it. That is what this code means. Okay. All right. That is about index. And then let's move to the next one. We can now see how to clear a list. Let me say a is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Now I'll print it as print. I'll put it as before clear. I'll put a comma and then I say yeah. I'll run this. Okay, before clear this. Now I'm going to clear this a. A dot clear. This is after clear. So before clear it had 10, 20, 30, 40. After clear nothing is there, empty list is returned. So this clear function will help you to empty the list. Okay, remember that. And then the same thing can be achieved with another method which we have seen in the last video. Let me show you that. So a is equal to this, and then I can use pop. So yesterday we saw that when I use pop, it will take off the last one, you remember. So a dot pop, I put it like this, and then if I print before pop, after pop, so what am I doing? So first I just print the list without doing any pop, and then I'm saying that print after the pop. Let's see. So before pop it was 10, 20, 30, 40, and then after a pop the last element is gone. So now you know that how I can iterate through this list and remove everything. So for that we can use the len method. You remember len is used to count the number of elements in a list. So how can I do it? For same one, so for I in range of a dot len and then how many times? A dot pop, print after pop. Let's see. It is doing only before pop. Why is it not doing the after pop? Okay, trace back most recent call range a dot len. Oh, I'm sorry, len is not a method, right? So len is a function. So let me run this. Cool. So I'll take this off, it's not required. I'll run this. Yeah, now you see that this a dot pop is used on this list A. How many number of times? 4 number of times, because I calculated the length of the A, which is nothing but 4, and it goes from first to fourth, and it removes everything from the list A and then it prints the A. That's why you don't see anything, and this is also making it empty. So easiest way is, instead of using pop, what can we do? We can use clear. All right. So what shall we do next? Next is the reverse. Reverse on a list. I copy this. Then let's say print a dot reverse. Let me run this. It says none. Okay, let's see. B is equal to a dot reverse. Then print B. Why? What is going wrong here? Okay, let me see if I use a string, what is going to happen. Your object has no attribute reverse. Good, that is fine. In that case, still comes as none. Okay, let me check this out, guys. Okay, let me check this out and get back to you. And then now let me go with the next method, which is nothing but sort, which is already in sorted order. So what I do, I'll try to confuse this. 20, 30, and then 10, and then 40. Let me have it in this way. Instead of reverse, I'll say a dot sort. Let's see. So a dot sort, I'll put, then I print a. Yeah, okay, got it. So this sort method is not returning anything. Instead, it is just modifying the existing list that we are giving. So that's why we were not getting anything when we were putting it in the b variable. Okay, so let's run it one more time. So though I have 20, 30, 10, 40, when I do a sort on that list, what happens is the entire list is changed. So I'm printing the list A again, and I'm printing it. You see that it is sorted 10, 20, 30, 40. So in that case, let me try reverse also one more time. So let's go with reverse. Okay, and then let's print A. Yeah, correct. So it is 20, 30, 10, 40. When it reverses 40, then 10, 30, 20. That is what is printing. Okay. Nice. Okay, guys, let's go to the next one. Okay, one more thing I wanted to tell you. This is sort, and by default the sort is ascending, correct? Say I'll put it one more time and I'll execute it. You see that it is ascending 10, 20, 30, 40. What if I want to make it descending? So for that, here in the sort we have few parameters or arguments to pass. If you see sort and then reverse, there is something called reverse. So what I can do is say reverse is equal to capital TRUE. Okay, it is an argument it takes, and when I say reverse is equal to true, instead of sorting it in ascending order, it will sort it in descending order. You see 40 and then 30 and then 20 and then 10. Understood how to do a reverse sorting, which is nothing but descending order. Cool. So next we'll go with interesting one. For example, say I create a list like this. I'll again change it to a regular simple list 10, 20, 30 and then 40. Say I need to add an element at the end. How can I add it? I can append a value, right? So a dot append, and then I can say I'll add 50, and then I'll print a. Let's see what it prints. It prints 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 because I'm appending 50 at the end. Let's say we have one list called A, another list called B. And this has again 10, 20, 30, 40. So what I'm doing, instead of passing a individual value, I'm passing a list here, A dot append B. What is the guess? What will happen? Will it unpack this list and then add them as an individual elements in the list A, or it will just add this list as the last index value? What is your guess? Let's see. All right. So as you see, when it is appending the list B, the entire list is taken and inserted in the list A as the last index value, right? That is why you see a square bracket on the last element. For example, if I want to print the A's fourth index, because 0 is 10, 1 is 10, 20, 2, 3, and then fourth index. This is the index of 4, right? Let me try to print this. Print A of 4. So what is it going to do? It will print the entire list. Now if I want to print the individual value of it, I can pass like this, 4 of 0. So it becomes a multi-dimensional array or multi-dimensional list. So that's why you see that now I am able to retrieve 10. So I'm saying go to the fourth index of A, which is nothing but this list, and from there get the 0th index, which is nothing but 10. So that's why it is printing 10. And I don't want to do this. Instead, what I want to do, I want to add every element of the next list into the existing list as individual elements. How can I do it? So for that we have a method called extend. Instead of append, we can do extend. So let me do this. So here instead of append, I'll use extend. You see it? So last time it was adding it as a list inside a list, but now it just unpacked and then added them here. This is not required. Hope this is clear. What is the difference between append and extend? Okay. And then one more important thing for you to understand now. Say I have a list A is equal to 10, 20 and then 30. Now what I do, I say B is equal to A. Okay. So now I'll print, you remember the function ID that we used, ID of A, and then print ID of B. So let me run this. So what will happen? There is a variable created on line number 77. A variable will be created named A, and then this list will be stored there, and this variable A will have an address. And then when we say B is equal to A, the variable B will also point to the same address, A's address, right? That is the reason when we print it, both A and B will have the same address. Let's see. Correct? 976, 976. And what if I change something with B? For example, B of 0 equal to, right now it is 10. Let me change it to say 40. And then let me print A instead of B. I'm printing because I am doing the assignment, or I am trying to do the change in the variable B. But what is going to happen to the list A? Let's see. I'm printing list A, but it has already updated. The reason is A and B are sharing the same address, and whatever change I'm making on B will reflect on A, and whatever change I'm making on A will reflect on B. So that is the reason you're seeing this. So if I don't want that to happen, what can I do? I want to create a list from an existing list, but it shouldn't share the same address. What can we do? It is easy. B is equal to A dot copy. So I'm taking a copy of it and then storing it here. So now let's see what is the address of A and B. So this time when I take a copy, the address is different, 632 and 568. So this way, if I do a change to B, will it impact A? No, because they both are pointing to different address. See, the A remains intact, though I'm updating B. Let me print B now. You see it? So B is where the update is done. A remains intact. Got it? So that is the way we can use this copy method. Right. So far, whatever methods we have seen using the list collection type, but we can use all these methods on tuple or any other dictionary or frozen set, any other collections, we can use them. I'll take few examples of tuple and I'll explain you. Okay, what is a tuple? Do you guys remember? Yeah, tuple is nothing but a frozen list is called a tuple, right? Just like set and frozen set. List and tuple are one and the same, but only thing is tuple cannot be modified at the later point of your scripting. Okay, once it is created, it is created. Okay, now instead of using square bracket, I need to use this 10, 20, 30 is what I can use for creating it. And I'll say print A. So here I'm creating what? Tuple. Let me run this. So you see that 10, 20, 30 in brackets. Now let me ask you a question. So A is equal to square brackets 10. If I put it like this and if I print this A, what it will print? It will print a list of 10. Okay, say it is 10. But if I want to create a tuple with only one value, will it be possible? Simply I change the square bracket into regular braces and let's see. No. So this is no more a tuple. It is simple integer value. The reason is in Python, these square brackets will be considered as math expression also, right? So that is the reason. If you just want to store only one in a tuple, it will be not possible. It will not be possible. So what you need to do, maybe you need to introduce another comma. So the moment you put a comma, this will be treated as a tuple with one value in it. So try with that option if you want to create a tuple with one value. Okay. So second one, how can we create tuple? Again, we saw this already in list. Two ways. Either I can create A is equal to brackets 10, 20, 30. This is one way of creating a tuple. Or we can create it like B is equal to tuple of, I can say 10, 20, 30. Okay, let me print this, print A, and then print B. See, I can use this tuple function to create a tuple, or I can use a direct brackets and use a variable to create a tuple. And all the methods that we have seen last time, right? All are applicable. For example, you can do a sorting of this tuple. A is equal to, I'll go like this. And I'll do A dot sort, and then I'll put it as reverse is equal to true, and then I'll print A. Let's see if you are noticing it. Okay, print A. Tuple object has no attribute sort. Okay, then let me see. B is equal to sorted of A, and then I'll print B. Cool, just doing it. I just want to do a reverse sort, that's why I use the function sorted, and then I'm giving the reverse as true. Cool, it is 30, 20, 10. But what are you noticing? A is a tuple, but when I do sorted, it is returning list, correct? So this function is returning list always, that is the reason you are seeing it in list. Okay, and all others, for example, packing and unpacking, I'll give you an example. So A is equal to this, and say I want to x, y, z is equal to A, and then print x comma y comma z, and I'll run this. You see that 10, 20, 30 are printed. So in the last video we used a list and then we unpacked it, and this time we have used the tuple and unpacked it. And similarly we can use the star, for example 10, 20, 30, 40. I'll go with star y here, and then I'll print x, y, z. So y should be a list now. So 10, 20 and 30 is put into the list y, and then the last value 40 is stored in the variable z. Okay, this is also good. And one last slicing technique we'll check, and then we'll stop with today's video. Okay, that will be the last method that we are going to see, method or function that we are going to see. Okay, so here this is the tuple, and I would like to print A of slicing is nothing but within the square bracket. Instead of just passing the index, we can pass two more arguments, right? The start point, end point, and the step count. So let me put the start point as 0, and then I'll use a colon, and then I'll say the end point as 3, then colon, and then 1. So what should it do? It should start from 0, but it should go until only the second index, because 3 should not be included, and the step count will be 1. So 0, 1, 2. I would be expecting 10, 20, 30 to print. See, 10, 20, 30, and the return, right? The value that gets printed is a tuple. If I want to go, or if I want to do the step count of 2, it will print only 10 and 30. You see, 10 and 30 are printed. And can I do the reverse, or can I do the negative indexing? Yes, it is possible. So what I need to do, I should start with -1, and also the step count should be -1, and then until where it has to go -1, -2, and then say let's say only 2 values. So what I do, I give it as -3, -1, -2, -3 is this, but it will not get included, only it will print -1 and -2. Let's run it. So 40 and 30, it is going in reverse order and printing it. So slicing is also possible in tuple. So you to take other collections and try to use all the methods that we have seen so far. And in case you are getting some glitches or you are not able to get those methods working on those collections, please let me know in the comment. I would try to answer them as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. Keep practicing and keep growing. Until next time, bye from me.